This week's Tailgate Conversation is presented by Pinnaker Chevrolet.
You've seen them grown in the field. We've seen them processed. Now let's see them smoked and served.
We've been in business 48 years. My dad started the business in February 19th, 1970. He had opportunity to come down here and have a turnkey type of operation, and hey, he just kind of took that opportunity. We lived in Kansas City, Missouri, and opportunity came here in Springfield to open up this business. And my father had been in the construction business up in Kansas City and a mattress factory. So I guess he needed a change to come down here and start cooking barbecue. Let Springfield see what real barbecue is in Kansas City style.
Stephen knew at a young age he wanted to continue in his father's footsteps. But it wasn't actually what brought him to Southwest Missouri.
Actually, I did not really come down here to really learn the business until I came down here to go to college, because we all lived in Kansas City. My dad commuted back and forth from Kansas City to Springfield for 17 years to run this business. As a young age, I already knew what I wanted to do in life. I wanted to take over my dad's barbecue restaurant and make it grow and keep it in the family for the rest of my life. So that's when I came down here in 1980 to go to college at Drury College. And I came here and went to Drury and graduated in 1984, and from Drury with a business degree, and took over the family business, and I've been doing this ever since.
Great tasting barbecue doesn't happen overnight. Stephen said it's more of an art than a science, a trait he learned from many years of simply working side by side with his dad.
The finesse of smoking meat. Well, I tell you what, I'll tell you a story. When I first came here, my father I asked my dad, like, okay, I'm ready to learn the business, you know? And he's like, okay, cool. And so I said, I want to learn how to cook the meat. And he says, okay, first of all, you got to start a fire. So he taught me how to start a fire. And all I did was build a fire for like a month. 30 days of building a fire, okay? Finally got the chance to kind of master the fire, and so with that situation, he said, okay, now you're ready to start putting meat on the fire. So he told me to put the meat on the fire, and I said, okay, and he said, put the fat side down on the fire, and he said, okay, and everything, and I said, okay, now, what do I do now? He says, well, you just cook it until it's done. and so he told me, I asked him, I said, well, how do you know it's done? He says, oh, you'll figure it out, you know what I'm saying? So, the whole idea with me and learning how to cook the meat was really through trial and error. And let me tell you something. He said, now you got to make sure it's not done all the way. And you know, he shouldn't have said that the first time he told me that, because actually I allowed to put that brisket on, and after I put that brisket on, when I took it off, it was like hard as a brick. So I burned up a whole box of brisket the first time. But my father allowed me to do that. He said, well, you don't cook it like that as hard as whatever. I said, okay. So the next time I put the brisket on, I said, okay, I'm gonna take it off right now. And then he cut it open and blood came out of it. So after that, I said, okay. So through trial and error, whatever, being able to allow myself to make mistakes and, you know, correct my mistakes, and just finally got it tweaked. And now I'm considered a pit master when it comes to barbecue. Most people think that, you know, you had a slow and slow, but you know, our philosophy around here is not really, because we actually smoke with direct heat and indirect heat. So if you have more direct heat, then it's gonna be a little faster process. Actually, I could put out the same type of tender product that most people think it takes 12 hours to take, though I could put that out in about 5 hours. So usually my briskets take about 5 hours to cook, and they're just as tender as or whatever if they've been cooked 12 hours. So that takes time for them to do that.
A 48-year barbecue legacy right here on East Division, Crosstown BBQ. Thank you.